What is poppin', everybody? Saberwolf94 and it's Pokemon sets from past format time once again. Today we're gonna go kind of in the middle. I decided to do Diamond and Pearl Majestic Dawn. I really love this set. This isn't like it's a great set, not in the level of course of other sets, but it's got a lot of general good cards. But the best thing about this set is like the whole concept, Majestic Dawn. It has beautiful, a lot of the cards in here have beautiful art. Like, it's just a beautiful set. I don't know how to describe it. It really is a majestic set. So, I guess the biggest thing in this set that really mattered, I would say, is the trainers. A lot of the trainers, the energies and stuff. And the biggest one, of course, would be Call Energy. So this card, I'm not the biggest fan of, but the way the format was back then, this was kind of like a necessary evil. It's not a bad card by all means, but it's kind of a card that I don't really want to use. It's basically a special energy card that provides colorless energy, one colorless energy. So, automatically when you have stuff like this, it doesn't really click with me. I mean, to be honest, if I could afford it, I wouldn't use double colorless energy, because I really hate like instant enhanced hammer and stuff like that. But back then, there wasn't really any ways to ditch special energies. Honestly, Lost Removal came all the way in the end of Call of Legends, but that wasn't really enough. Back then, special energies, if you put special energies on, they were usually safe. There were other things that would, you know, fuck with you, like maybe Scissor with black damage and things of this nature, but really the annoying thing is that, okay, I have to make sure to put this on something that can use colorless, has a colorless energy cost in the attack cost. Otherwise, if you put this on something like Blaziken, it was kind of a waste. Um, the SP Blaziken, or if you put this on something that could attack, could do what it would do, like for free anyway, like Chatot from this set, which we're going to talk about, then you kind of wasted an energy attachment. But it was a necessary evil because during your turn, you played this, you could search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. And if you did this, your turn ended. So it was basically like a fucking one of those attacks called family attacks that you grab a bunch of basic Pokemon. But this was important back then because if you played first, you couldn't play any trainers, and if you only opened with 1 basic Pokemon, your opponent played second. If they were playing something like Kindra, they had their deck designed so that they could hopefully get out of Kindra first turn, if possible, and then knock your ass out in 1 hit, and you would lose this way. This was called a donk, and there were a lot of donk decks and donk strategies back then. To be honest, it's one of the shittier things of the DP format. I like to praise that format a lot, but this was one of the shittier things. But I guess this is why we had all these cards and ways, and we played it differently back then. So this is what Call Energy does. Now this was a staple in pretty much all decks, especially SP decks. You would play 4 of this. If you didn't play a lot of this, you would play a lot of basic Pokemon. Interestingly enough, I think it's called Yuta Matsuda, the guy that won Worlds in 2010 or 2009, I don't remember, with his Luck Chomp deck that was pretty different from what people were used to, even though a lot of the cards, well, some of the cards that he used shouldn't have been surprising to people. Like, a lot of people were surprised he ran a lot of Professor Oak's new theory, which I don't know why people would be, but what he did is that I think he didn't run any Call Energies at all, and that was kind of surprising for people. To be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of this card. If I would run it, I'd run like 1 in my decks, or I'd rather just have other ways to make sure I'm safe. from Donks. But this was no doubt a very impactful card. Everybody run it, 3 to 4 copies, honestly. But yeah, if I had to pick one card that's the biggest card from this set, that would have to be it. Now another card that I don't want to say it was that big, but I guess it caught on, that people maybe was popularized by Puka actually. I know he likes this card a lot. Kyle Sukovic, a pro player. You probably know him. You guys know him. If you're watching me, you probably know this guy. But Chatot. This was a support Pokemon. 60 HP basic. Fighting resistance, no retreat cost. Good solid stats. You know, the HP wasn't great, but what can you do? So basically, you open with this thing, and it was a support Pokemon. You could attack for free with Mimic, and you shuffle your hand into your deck, then do a number of cards equal to the number of cards in your opponent's hand. And I guess Chatter, I'm not really sure if this came up that much, but you do this, and your opponent can retreat. But really, it was Mimic. I think yeah, Mimic was the thing people used back then. I didn't really use this card, honestly. It's a cool card. I like the art. You know, it really has this sort of Dawn thing going for it. But if your opponent had a big hand, you would draw a lot of cards for free here. And it's good. It was a good support Pokemon. This is why some cards that had similar effects, like I believe Manaphy from Unleashed, didn't really do shit, because even though that was consistent draw, this thing was costless. So yeah, a lot of the cards that were kind of a thing from here didn't really last that much, like the Eevees. We have the new Evolution Lv.X's here. Of course, we got Glaceon Lv.X and Leafeon Lv.X. So as long as this Pokemon was active, your opponent couldn't use any Poke Powers. Now, of course, this is a strong-ass ability. The attack, it was 3 for 70. It was not all that great, but during the time Majestic Dawn came out, we didn't have all the other amazing sets, like Stormfront, of course, and all the SP shit. It was a different time. So this wasn't actually a shit card. I think it did some stuff. 70 for 3, and then if hits, it did 20 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So if you could pull this off, the damage could stack up. Not bad, not bad. And Leafeon Lv.X looks very nice too. Once during your turn, you could attach energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So basically an extra energy acceleration shit. And Verdant Dance, if you had a lot of energies, was going to do a lot of damage. One of those unlimited seething attacks, Verdant Dance, for each energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So these cards were good when they were released, but didn't really last. Garchomp Lv.X, this is where the actual Garchomp Lv.X comes from, not the SP one. This Pokemon is very good. It was probably better back then, but when Supreme Victor's Garchomp came out, I feel like you'll probably not even run this. If you did, of course, you would only run one, but Supreme Victor's Garchomp is just so good. This was more like a tech, if you would use it. The upgrade of 10 HP isn't that much. The Poke Power and the attack, you know, could do shit, but you know, you had double weakness too, and yeah. It's a great card, don't get me wrong, but Garchomp, the Supreme Victor's Garchomp was just so good that you probably didn't even want to run this if you're going to use that guy. And Porygon Z, I really dig this card. I really think it's cool. It's probably the worst pull of Lv.X, everybody's going to say. But for me, I love Porygon Z, so I actually have this. I pulled it when I opened the box, and it didn't piss me off at all, to be honest. These were obviously more sought after. I would rather pick one of these, but yeah. But other things that were interesting. Let's see. We got Dawn Stadium. Whenever a player attaches energy from user hand to grass or water Pokemon, remove a damage counter in all special conditions. So yeah, this was a cool little stadium. Beautiful card, too. But yeah, I guess one of the things we need to talk about here is the starter Empoleon. Where are you? The Empoleon from here was actually kind of good for a little while. One of the better cards from this set. You got 130 HP. Good. And then you had 2 attacks, dual splash. You targeted 2 Pokemon, did 30 to each of them. So it was like 60 for 2. Decent, I guess. Spread wasn't that. I mean, I guess it was before Garchomp, Lv.X, and Nidoqueen from Rising Rivals. So it wasn't that bad. But the big attack was Surf Together. This was going to do fucking a lot of damage if you had a lot of bench Pokemon. 10 more damage for each of your bench Pokemon. So if you had like 5, this was 100 for 3. This was very good. It didn't get much better. Now if you actually flip the coin of tails, you did 10 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. But either way, even if you did like 10 to all of your guys, doing 100 for 3, great. So this thing, I think it won, was a Top Worlds deck or something. A deck with this Empoleon. I'm pretty sure. Yes. So what we got here, we got some, actually let me talk about some of the cool stuff. So there's Palkia and Dialga in this set, of course. One of the prints from the DP era. And back then, what we had is, well, you guys will see from other sets, like little basic Pokemon having berries and stuff. But Palkia and Dialga, they would hold their, what's it called? Their, I guess, what's that word? Their special held item, let's say, like Lustrous Orb for Palkia and Adamant Orb for Dialga. And this, I guess you could say, maybe you can compare to the ancient traits we had in Primal Clash. It was just a little effect. It wasn't something that abilities and powers and shit could block. So for example, for Palkia, if an active Pokemon had weakness to water type, Palkia's deck did 20 more damage. So basically, instead of hitting for whatever weakness, like 20 or 30, you would do like 50, 40, you did 20 more damage. So I guess it would help you to get a one-hit knockout if you otherwise couldn't. Not that great attacks, but yeah. We got the birds here too. Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. This was a cool card. It didn't do shit, but it was cool. At least I remember not doing shit. Basically, basic Pokemon. 100 HP, as good as it's gonna get. Find resistance. You play this, you flip a coin, flip heads, grab 3 fire energy, put it on this dude. And it could do like 3-400, which was very strong. Yeah, gimmick stuff, but yeah. So, there's not really that much stuff to talk about from this set. I think I covered the important parts. I guess we need to talk about the Eevees a little bit more. But yeah, we got 2 Eevees in this set. Where are you, Eevee? You got this one that doesn't really do anything. It was in the theme decks too, for Majestic Dawn. But then we got the good one. Yeah. Call for family, search your deck for as many Eevee as you like and put them on your bench. Now this was actually very cool because if you played an Eevee deck, at least you maybe didn't have to worry about dunks and a lot of shit like this, because the rule was back then that You could attack first turn if you played first, but you couldn't play trainers. And, well, trainers and supporters and stadiums and all that shit, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So, if you open with this and had an energy, you would do this, and you could grab like 2 to 3 Eevees, like easily. Fill your bench. Very, very nice. So if you were running Eevee, at least you had this support fallback attack. And Eevee decks, I guess they were alright during the Majestic Dawn format. We got a couple of them here. I guess I should cover all of them since it's a Majestic Dawn trademark. So there's another Eevee from Rising Rivals too, but I think this one is the best one, honestly. So let's see, we got Vaporeon first. Not that amazing. Remove 2 damage from each of your bench Pokemon. 1 for 30 though, so yeah. And Hyper Whirlpool, flip a coin until you get Tails attack. For each head, so you discard energy to the defending Pokemon. Not that amazing, but let's look at the other guys. Umbreon I know is kind of good. Each of your Pokemon that evolves from Eevee has no weaknesses, and that Pokemon's retreat cost is 0. So this is one of the better evolutions. If you were running like an Eevee deck, they did the whole thing that they would want you to run all of them kind of thing. So you get all these little effects from each one. They will kind of support each other. So you couldn't actually run all of them, to be honest, but this was one of the picks maybe you would as a partner. It gave your Eevees no weaknesses, your evolutions no weaknesses, and free retreat cost, which was important. Was not really a lot of ways. Or you could run, let me find Espeon first. This thing was another good choice. It gave your opponent more HP. It gave your evolutions more HP, 20 more HP. You couldn't use more than 1 Sunlight Veil, but it was still cool. And I guess the attack was solid too, a little bit. We got Flareon then. Not really a team player, Flareon, but at least it did some solid damage, I guess. Hippowdon. Was this good? I don't remember, but if you look at it, it's kind of cool. 100 HP stage 1 has a costless attack, Vacuum Sand, and you search your discard pile for fighting energy and attach it to Hippowdon. And you also do 20 damage too. And Sand Impact, you flip a coin for each fighting energy, and I guess if you're gonna have 3 on this dude, on average maybe you'll do like 70, 90 damage. Okay. Decent stuff. Like I said, this set, it doesn't really have like cards that really lasted. I guess we could talk like Mewtwo. As soon as Legends Awaken came out and then Stormfront, all of the attackers and, you know, yeah, basically Stormfront brought all of the attackers we would use for a while. But I'm going to talk about Mewtwo actually. So this set has a Mewtwo, and Mewtwo Lv.X was kind of a big thing when it came out, because it could block damage from all basic Pokemon. And I think this is one of the Mewtwo you would run. It was very good. Energy absorption. Switch your discard power for 2 energies and attach it to Mewtwo. You know, recover. You discard a Psychic Energy and you remove 6 damage counters from Mewtwo. That's good. And Cyburn did 60 for 3. So 3 solid attacks. And really this is modeled after like the Mewtwo, the original Mewtwo, and you know, the Mewtwo from Evolutions is modeled after these versions as well. So, you know, if you're going to run Mewtwo Lv.X in a Psychic deck, or as a counter, or as a tech like in Curse Guard and shit, that was a real thing. You know, maybe you would use this Mewtwo because it was strong. Energy absorption is good. So yeah. Other than that, I mean, Darkrai's in here too, but he's not that great at all. Uh, really, really not. Yeah, it looks cool, but not that great. And I guess we'll cover the basic Leafeon and Glaceon too. So this little Leafeon, 1 for 30, your opponent couldn't retreat. And during your opponent's next turn, any damage until Leafeon by attacks are reduced by 20. So I guess a deck that was cool for back then would be to use Leafeon, uh, and then in Stormfront, well, I guess we got all the crazy attackers from then. But if you didn't want to go with them, Stormfront did introduce the Cherrim, and you played a bunch of those. You could do some solid damage with Leafeon for 1 energy. You also made your opponent not able to retreat. And then you had the Lv.X option, and did some good damage with Verdant Dance. And Glaceon 2, yeah, this is not that good. Speed Slide, attack damage isn't affected by resistance Pokemon. Basically, it could hit for weakness, but it wasn't affected by any other negative effect. So it was cool, but 80 HP was kind of low. Yeah. So that's basically the set. I can't really think of cards. Like there were the fossils and shit, and uh, we got Caesar here. Okay, so this guy's kind of cool. So Caesar would do 50 more damage if your opponent had any special energy attached to it. So special energy hate. So yeah, this guy could actually be cool too, maybe. But a lot of the cards in this set don't really, come to my mind in competitive play in competitive formats. You got Torterra, could do 62, but then it did 10 damage to everybody on your bench. And we got the in-between Infernape. I think that's what I like to call him. Yeah, had like more HP than the one from Diamond and Pearl, but did less damage if you were going to use Mega Bravo. You had the option to ditch more fire energy to do more damage, but if you're going to do 2, then it was an inferior Diamond and Pearl fire energy attack. I guess Mach Punch is decent, maybe. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there were any cards. Maybe I'm missing that I don't remember, but I don't really think so. Like the biggest stuff, like I've said, was Call Energy. That was actually a card that had a very significant impact, whether I like it or not. But the other things like the fossils, they weren't that great. The Eevees, they were only good for a while, and not much afterwards. They're cool cards to collect. Uh, Chatot was cool. But yeah, this was kind of definitely a set that was for that format, like didn't really go beyond like Legends Awakened, Stormfront, like even other sets like Secret Wonders, and I feel like Mysterious Treasures that had a lot of significant cards that many decks could use. Let's look at Cresselia too for the last card. Yeah, it wasn't that good. But I guess there was Cresselia Lv.X in the previous set, but yeah. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't really think there's anything else. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys leave a like. Hope you guys subscribe. This probably wasn't as interesting as Arceus, but I can't really be held responsible uh, if there are not really any cards. I guess I could talk about my favorites maybe, but I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Unknown P. Oh no, wait, this sucks. Yeah, let me think. Yeah, unknown Q, that's the one. There was a good unknown here. Yeah, this card was good. Unknown Q. It was quick. Basically, you would attach this, if it was on your bench, to one of your Pokemon, and it had one less retreat cost. So it was kind of like the float stone of back then. That would only be good, I guess, if you only had one energy retreat cost. But this was actually a card that people used. So yeah, we almost didn't cover this. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's like the only thing. I don't think I missed anything else. I hope I didn't miss anything else. Let me see here. Raichu. I don't think that was good. Yeah, no. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe. Um, I promise the other sets are going to be more interesting than this. This is more of a really a collector set. Uh, the art in these cards is beautiful. You really just enjoy opening a box of this, viewing all the cards, taking your time. I did this when the weather was like good, like you really was like dawn outside, and you just create some good memories. It was just very good, very memorable. It is a beautiful set. In general, the art and the style of cards in DP, the DP era, I really don't think they can match it. The EX era, of course, I think it's a tie for me, but like the art, the shift in the art from to black and white, and even some shit. And I mean, I guess they did it on purpose for Heart Gold, Soul Silver, but you know, the black and white, and then later in X and Y and shit. Not that big of a fan. Who knows? Maybe it's just nostalgia, but I really think a lot of like newer guys would also agree when they look at these older cards. They think they're more beautiful as well. But anyway, guys, Saberwolf94, and what the fuck is up?